Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you heard of Ether diamonds? The world's most sustainable diamonds and the only diamonds that are actually good for the planet.
Yeah, isn't that the guys that make diamonds out of air?
That's right. Ether creates the world's first positive impact diamonds made from air through a process that removes harmful air pollution, captures the carbon from it,
and retasks that carbon to a higher purpose in their one-of-a-kind diamonds.
That's correct. They are 100% real diamonds with a real impact.
Every carat of Ether diamonds offsets your personal carbon footprint for over a year.
That's fantastic. They're some of the highest quality diamonds you can buy and certified by the IGI. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, that's the International Gemologist Institute.
The world's largest independent laboratory for testing and grading gemstones. Now you're no longer stuck having to choose between mined and regular lab-grown diamonds, both of which harm the environment. Ether offers the only truly sustainable diamonds on the market, requiring no ethical or environmental trade-offs. They're the only guilt-free diamond.
To learn more about these revolutionary diamonds from air, visit their website at etherdiamonds.com. That's AETHERDIAMONDS.com, or follow them on social media at etherdiamonds.
Hey, Mike.
What?
Do you occasionally place a bet on a sports team?
Sure.
Well, Tail Network is here to help.
What is that? What is Tail?
Tail is a social network for sports enthusiasts and gamblers.
Oh, like you're a football nerd, right?
It kind of is. My season is starting right now. Post sports-related content as well as your picks, and they appear right on the feed for all of your followers.
Really?
Everyone else can see your analytics, and you can start charging for your knowledge.
Oh, really?
Yes. Coins can be purchased on the App Store or through the website tailnetwork.com and used to buy picks. You can then cash out the coins you've earned for real money. Again, that's Tail Network on the App Store and tailnetwork.com. Visit them on tailnetwork.com. Again, that's TAIL, tailnetwork.com. And you can find out all your information and sign up today. The NFL season is just around the corner, and you need to be on top of your game with Tail Network.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest, keeping you up to date on technology, while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
You got that look.
That's right. I'm excited to be on the show today. All right. Well, for anybody that was just listening to the last hour, because we listened to it in studio, I just want to make sure everybody understands the internet is only 23 to 25 years old. So if anybody tells you that they've been doing something on the internet for 30 years, probably not possible. And we're going to be talking about that later in our second hour when we talk about Microsoft in 1999. What's that?
Maybe he's related to Al Gore.
Al
Gore invented the internet.
That's right. So just be careful what you say. Everybody considers that the internet's been around forever, but it's 22 to 23 years.
It feels like it, though, doesn't it?
It does, but it's really only 25 years since it's been in existence.
All right.
And that was American Online. I just wanted to correct anybody listening that joined us for the hour.
Now
but
that you've got your thing in, let's move on.
All right. Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, technology news of the week, the show for the everyday common person with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. I'm Nathan Mumm, and we got Mike Roday and David Brown. The crew is all here today. We are a live stream on Facebook, Twitch. We are checking Twitter during the show itself.
Don't forget YouTube.
YouTube.com/TechTime Radio. And, of course, KKNW, 1150 a.m. You can listen to us or watch us also. So we are everywhere. But we're only everywhere Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. live. Because if you catch us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not 4 to 6 p.m., and Sunday, you're catching a rebroadcast.
No comment.
Okay. All right. I was waiting for some smart aleck comment to come back at me. Okay. All right.
Okay,
so,
tickle me, Elmo.
All right. But if you are listening to a rebroadcast, which means you're not listening to us on Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m., please go to techtimeradio.com. Again, that's techtimeradio.com to stay up on all your latest information. We're going to be talking a little bit about techtimeradio.com because we had an incident a little bit later in our first hour segment. So you're going to want to hear all of the information Fire Eye, thank you very much for being a part of our
this
show
is,
today.
This is where your mouth gets you into trouble.
I know, it sure is. All right, so make sure you stay on for the show because we have an exciting story to tell you about. Now, on the first hour, we're going to be talking about technology's greatest mystery today with a breaking news report around 4:30. So I have the news during our Technology Insider segment to destroy any myths that you may have. We're not going to say what we're talking about, but you're going to watch it here live at 4:30. I will break the news to everybody, and it's going to be earth-shattering and change the way you use your computer each and every day.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Geraldo.
That's right. We also are going to be talking about WhatsApp, who faces a $267 million fine. We got Facebook's AI mislabeling a video as primates. That we're going to talk about that is unacceptable to have that happen when you have a video. And we'll be talking about that. Next, we have Tesla cars running into police. So nothing like having your good old Tesla car just deciding to drive directly to the police itself, and hit them on the side of the road. We have 3 scary security breaches we're going to be talking about. We have one that has Microsoft looking for answers, and we have Mike's mesmerizing moments and our NFT and whiskey tasting for the show. On the second hour, we have our Back to School Part 2 segment. We have our Microsoft special. We're going to be taking a look at Microsoft back in the 1990s. We're actually talking about year 1999. So this is the precursor to Y2K.
Yep.
We got a lot of stuff to be talking about on that. And then we're having a feature segment on the second hour. Nick Espinoza is joining us, and we're going to be talking about what happens to technology in a country like Afghanistan when someone comes on in and a regime takes over. What happens to the technology that was there? What happens to secure technology? We got tons of questions, and Nick has answers. So join us on that second hour. And, of course, we're going to be drinking some whiskey on the side.
Yeah.
All right. Now, as we start every show, which is the most important part, we go to our loaded question of the day for Mike. What can you cook that you know everyone will love?
Pizza.
Okay. You can cook pizza?
Oh, yeah.
How do you cook it?
I cook it from scratch.
You make the dough?
I make the dough. I don't make the sauce most of the time, but I can make the sauce.
Okay.
I worked in a pizza joint right out of high school for a couple of years and learned a bunch of stuff. So
okay. What pizza joint?
It's a chain.
A local?
A chain down in Arizona.
That's a chain in Arizona.
It's kind of like Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay.
So, but
so you have some secrets then, huh?
I got some secrets. I know how to do cauliflower dough and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So I do that too.
Okay, cool. All right. Wow, that was a great loaded question. Look at
yeah,
that.
Sure.
The chef
I
now
can do grilled cheese too.
You can do grilled cheese?
Yeah, with an iron.
With a real iron?
Yeah.
Oh, how do you do that?
Don't you know? Have you never done that?
No, I've never done. No.
Man,
Was it so?
Oh, that's right. You didn't go to college.
I didn't. So if I was traveling with my basketball team back in the day, we had irons. You're telling me I could have made a grilled cheese on that?
Yeah. You just
where do you put where's the bottom part you put it down on? You flip it upside down?
On a plate.
Oh, you put it on a plate.
Put it on a plate or a napkin. And
you sure you don't put it on the bed? You just go.
Yeah, it's a hotel room. You do what you want.
Okay, you should be on the show after us at 6 o'clock. Talk more about food then.
That's what Jamie.
I'm not sure Chef Jamie would appreciate that.
No, she'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
Like, I don't deal with cheese.
Amateurs. Yeah. All right. Well, if you'd like to ask us a question, we may have time during the first hour and second hour. You can always call us at 425-373-5527 or 188-298-KKNW or 188-298-5569. David will put you on hold. He'll ask you a question on what you're asking us, and then he'll ask us off the air if we're okay with that question being asked. And then if so, we'll put you on the air. Or if you want to book a time to ask a question to us, you can go to techtimeradio.com. The very top right-hand corner, you can click on and be a guest on the show.
Yeah.
All right.
Should.
Now,
unless you're on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not 4 to 6.
And Sunday. That's right. Then the name doesn't work. That's right. All right. Okay. Thank you for our loaded question. All right. We are going to go right now into our first segment to start our show.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right. Story number 1. WhatsApp faces $267 million European Union fine for Facebook data sharing transparency. So this is your favorite company, right?
Okay, explain that a little bit, because that sounds a little confusing.
Okay, so first off, the European Union company that has a problem with it is specifically related to the General Data Protection Regulation. That's the GDPR. And essentially, WhatsApp information on the phone numbers has a very basic encryption code.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can find that encryption code, which is posted all over everywhere, then essentially you can take all the WhatsApp information and tie it directly to a person, information of that person, the profile of that person, and the phone number itself.
So WhatsApp is supposed to be this very secure thing to use because it does double encryption.
Yeah, well, all it does is this very simple hash key that's needed to decrypt the information that could tie the number to a specific person it wanted. Essentially, in Europe, they had a company that specifically worked for, I think it was Germany, so one of the areas to actually take a look at the app, take a look at the compression, and see what's taken care of. Now, essentially, the fine that is being levied is asking for it to be redistributed in a more secure way. Otherwise, the fine will hold up. So they have an ability to fix that. But they do not know if they're going to do it or not. Facebook may just kind of say, screw it, and we're going to keep it the way it is.
$264 million is a drop in the bucket for
Well,
Facebook.
I don't know. So this kind of just goes and takes a look at the string of penalties for tech giants for other violations. We have Amazon that was faced with $888 million fine in July over GDP issues. We have Twitter that was asked to pay $450 million for, again, encryption areas in Europe. So it's going to be a very interesting deal because Europe has a whole different standard that they're trying to hold people to. And are these U.S. companies going to pay those fines, or if they're going to have some type of negotiation? But there you go. We'll see what happens.
There you go.
But let me just tell you, WhatsApp is not very secure. So I can, in the middle of 2 or 3 minutes, I can find that hash code editor, and I can take a look at anybody send me on WhatsApp. So there you go.
Because it's supposed to be, that's one of their selling points.
Yeah, no,
is
that's why we had Trina on that said she should use Signal. Signal. Yeah, so make Signal. Yeah. So you need to make sure you wear.
What are you thinking about?
I had a little bit of whiskey before the show. That's
I know.
So did you. So
okay.
All right. Okay. Story number 2. Facebook says its AI mislabeling a video of black men as primates was unacceptable. Facebook is apologizing for an incident where its AI mislabeled a video of black men with a primates label, calling it an unacceptable error. As reported in the New York Times, users who watched a June 27th video posted by the UK tabloid Daily Mail received an auto prompt asking whether they wanted to keep seeing videos about primates. Facebook's disabled the entire topic information. They said it's clearly an unacceptable error, and a spokesperson from the company says they apologize and they're investigating into why this incident happened. This is, again, an example of artificial intelligence that is not ready to be deployed mainstream.
This is how computer learning goes wrong.
Correct. And we've talked about this on TechTime Radio. If this is your first episode you're listening to, we're glad you being here. We have talked about this at least 6 or 7 times on here. AI is not ready to be able to distinguish individual sex traits, individual skin colors, individual eye colors, gesture movements. It's not quite ready for prime time, but yet every software company tries to come out with the ability to do this to enable them to be ahead of everybody else.
We're trying to rush something to market that just doesn't work.
It shouldn't
it causes too many problems.
And just think of
it's because 95% of all tech errors are human designed.
Yep.
Actually, we could probably say 100%.
So there should have been no reason that you would have tagged that AI as a primate thing. That you should no way have had any of that information to be. I mean, that's a pretty
evolutionarily, we're all primates, but some people would disagree with that.
Okay, yeah, I guess. So it was.
But I'm not trying to.
You're just trying to say the AI was so advanced it went back to.
Okay. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that there's irony there.
Okay, what's your favorite company though? So you should be bagging on them, right? Because we get in trouble for Facebook and Amazon thinking that we're doing sponsorship for them on YouTube, so be careful. All right, Tesla uses autopilot, crashes into police car in Florida. This is awesome. All right. Federal probe opened earlier this month that there were a series of similar crashes. Orlando, Florida, a Tesla using its partially automated driving system slammed into a Florida Highway Patrol cruiser Saturday on an interstate near downtown Orlando and nearly missed its driver, who had pulled over to assist a disabled vehicle. So the driver pulled over. Thanks, David. So the driver pulled over, got out to assist somebody, and the car decided
took off and
took off on
his cop car.
Yeah. Earlier,
that's in that kind of the scary thing about it. Didn't Phil send us that one?
Yeah, Phil. We talked about that. Phil Hennessy has talked about all the automated driving.
Yeah,
and especially
we
in the
talked
snow,
about this, yeah,
right? There's no way to distinguish all the
I'm
white.
going to ever give control of my car.
And he said he would never do it either. And no, that's correct.
This is the reason why.
The troopers whose cruiser was hit shortly before 5 a.m. Saturday hadn't activated his emergency lights and was on the way to a disabled vehicle when the Tesla hit the cruiser's left side and then collided with another vehicle. Highway Patrol spokesman Lieutenant Kim Mounts told the Orlando Sentinel. The report said the 25-year-old man in the Tesla and the driver of the disabled vehicle suffered minor injuries, and the trooper was unhurt.
Well, that's good.
Well, that's lucky. All this AI stuff, cars
well,
driving.
That's better than the one in Arizona that didn't one of those not remote control, one of those automated cars hit somebody.
Yeah.
Injure them pretty badly
in a crosswalking
That's right.
area. They didn't know how to distinguish the crosswalking area. So, all right, there you go. Well, I am your host, Nathan Mumm. We got 2 hours of a great show here on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. We got Micro Day here. We're going to be sipping some whiskey during this commercial break. But when we come on back, we have our Technology Insider segment talking about the biggest divide in technology. You can take no middle ground on the topic that we're going to be discussing. You're either on one side or the other.
Just a big reveal.
Yes, you do not want to miss the segment. And then our third segment we have is Protect Yourself Today. So that's going to be even greater. Do you know that this weekend is the #1 weekend for cybercrime and hackers?
No.
Yes. So this whole Labor Day weekend is considered the start in the big introduction for all cybercrime initiations.
That's because this is the start of the holiday season. Right.
And you know what? It's because everybody's gone. Everybody's away. And so they have all these people that are now back in school that are also moonlighting in all these hacking areas, working in their dorms. And essentially they are now trying to get trained, which we're going to be talking about and Protect Yourself Today, so they can hack people. So do not click on any emails this weekend. Stay away from everything. Come in Tuesday, Wednesday, and then maybe click on some emails, but do not click on anything that looks crazy on an email or anything that you're like, oh, that's a little weird. Delete it, and we'll see what happens on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. If it's that important,
control your FOMO.
That's right. All right. Well, we're going to take our break here. We're going to be tasting the whiskey, and we'll see you after this. Hi, I'm Nathan Mumm, host of Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm on KKNW. Tech Time Radio's live show is Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m., and you can always check us on the web at techtimeradio.com. Our segmented stylized radio gives you the breaking news before it hits mainstream media. Join myself and Micro Day as we'll make you laugh.
That's good. So,
Hooked on Phonics worked for you, didn't it?
It did, just a little bit.
And learning something new in technology. Join us Saturdays 4 to 6 p.m. and Thursdays from 6 to 7 a.m. The technology show for the everyday common person.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, the show that takes a positive, forward-looking approach to mid to late career transitions for Gen Xers and Boomers every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock Pacific. Whether you're looking to stay in the traditional workforce, do your own thing, or retire or semi-retire, Reigniting You is your source for career transition advice, inspiration, and insight for what's next in your career and life. Join me Wednesdays at 3 o'clock to get re-energized, recharged, and reignited.
Welcome back to Tech Time Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. We got Micro Day here. We got David Brown behind the board. And let me just tell you, our whiskey of the day is Skrewball Peanut Butter Whiskey, 70 proof, $29, available at Costco. So you can buy cases and loads of this, I think. If you,
I probably would. This is dangerous stuff.
This is unbelievably good.
I know.
And do you know what? I don't understand how it can be good.
It's got a screw cap.
It's got a screw cap.
Well,
but it is still in a glass bottle.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what it is. California Skrewball is the original peanut butter flavored whiskey with roasted peanut, honey, vanilla, and tasted flavor notes. Born in Ocean Beach, California, Skrewball was developed by Bartenders for Bartenders. It's the awarded gold medal at the SIP Awards in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's like Reese's Pieces.
It's really good.
It's like a Reese's Pieces.
I'm not going to buy any of this.
Yes, you are. You said you were going to buy a can. That's what you said. Oh,
yeah,
you said no?
I'm gonna have to say no because I will drink a bottle in a night.
Yeah, you know,
it's really
this may be the best part about it is only 70 proof, so we may have to have some more second hour. Okay, this will be the first time that we actually carry over and
that's
do
right.
This is great. Okay, well, welcome back to Tech Time Radio. Now that we've got all of our picks out of the way, I don't know if I'm going to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. At the end of the show. But make sure you stay tuned to see if we're going to give
giving 4 of those.
4 thumbs up?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That would be the first time ever. This is unbelievable. All right. So my wife picked this up for me, and she said you needed to try it. I was like, eh. And I brought it, and I'm like, yeah, she's poor gal. She's going to have to go buy another 50 of those.
Yeah.
That's like gold and heavenly symphony of sitting around with some peanut butter and oh man, it's good.
Okay.
All right.
I'm glad to see you got those thoughts organized.
Did you?
Yeah.
We've been drinking a lot already.
You have.
Okay, that's right. All right, there. Continuing on. Okay, David, thank you very much. Let's start our next segment.
Welcome to Technology Insider. We get the information directly from the source.
Thank goodness we have David here.
He was giving you all kinds of signals.
I know he was, wasn't he? He said, what the heck are you doing? All right, welcome to Technology Insider, where you get information directly from the source. Today, we have your host, myself, talking about the huge controversial
this is big.
upset in the computer world. This is caused a huge uproar, just like an MMA Battle Royal Rumble. Okay.
Really? Where do you get these?
Whoa. You can't have a Battle Royal and a Rumble at the same time. It's got to be one or the other.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And actually, the MMA can't use Battle Royal because I think that's a WWE.
I'm sorry. I guess, I was going to say, I'm flipping it the other way and going WWE all the way.
Correct. So, so you know what? So, okay.
Where do you get these comparisons from?
Well, I had a great time writing this up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds like it.
Flash drives. Everybody has a flash drive.
Yep.
Okay. Now, you plug a flash drive into a computer, a USB port.
Mm-hmm.
All right? The question I have for you, do you, when you're all done using the flash drive, do you go and take your Windows icon and move it down to safely eject if you wanted to? Or do you, if you have a Mac, do you go and drag it into the trash area so you can eject the drive?
Do you want my real answer?
I want your real answer.
I said no.
No?
I'm old.
Okay.
I don't care. I just rip it out.
You just rip it out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you rip it out because there's a big myth out there that you're supposed to go and actually end the ejection, which you do not need to do. And so I have information here. I have statistical information. I got factual information. Now, if your USB port has a CD-ROM attached to it, and you're using a CD-ROM, or if you have an older hard drive, okay, that has platters and information in it, you absolutely have to use the safely eject feature so that it can stop writing and it can actually secure the drive into a locked state before you move it out. But if you have a flash drive, flash memory has buffer information that's available on each flash drive that it loads up first. You never, ever, ever have to eject it to pull it on out. We're going to talk about it. I have people, and I don't want to give AJ a hard time, but AJ, so if you're listening to the show, I know he's going to listen to the show. We had this discussion, and he was doing this thing, and he moved it over here and ejected. What are you doing? Just pull the thing out. Oh, no, I've been told by technology people all my life that I got to make sure I safely eject it. That's a big myth.
Where did this stupid thing come from?
Well, a long time ago, you had a lot of hard drives that were available in USB drives. And if you have a hard drive or a CD-ROM attached to it, you have to put that hard drive into a steady state that will allow you to eject the drive, but you don't have to do it with flash memory. You've never had to do it with flash memory. Specifically, let's talk about Windows. Windows 10, you do not have to, at any time, go and use that area because it already has built into its feature called quick removal. So that allows you to yank the drive at any time without having to worry about anything or any of the settings in there. Now, if you're copying a file over, let's just be very, very clear. Let's have a big movie file I'm copying over to a USB drive so I can go inside and watch it.
Are you saying I should wait for that to finish copying before I pull it out?
Yes. You have to. Okay, so this is basic knowledge. Yeah, so basic knowledge, if you're trying to transfer a file to a USB drive, wait till it's finished, but then you can just pop the drive out. You don't have to go and eject it. You can do this with a Mac and with a PC. So essentially, you have been able to do this all the way back into Windows 7. So if you had an old Windows 7 box, you have not needed to use this feature at all.
Well, darn it, I used to feel like a rebel. Now I'm going to have to go back and start doing the eject safely, so I feel rebellious.
So you feel rebellious?
Yeah, there we go.
Do you remember the old VHS tapes where you had to have the tracking on the VHS tabs?
God.
So there's
there's a lot of people that you just lost because I don't even know if they even know what a VHS.
So VHS tape.
is.
When it first came out, there was this tracking button, and you had to do tracking.
Yeah.
So literally 5 years into creating VHS deals, they had self-tracking, auto-tracking within every VCR that was sold. Every VCR. They literally had tracking buttons still available on remotes just because people were so ingrained that they had to do tracking.
This is how traditions are formed.
Okay, yep.
This is how we gather information, and we establish a way of doing stuff.
Yep.
And then we continue to do it even though we don't need to do it.
Did you ever blown a Nintendo cartridge?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. Okay. What are you doing when you're blowing in a Nintendo cartridge?
It doesn't matter. It worked.
Did it really work?
Yeah. It always worked.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did. Totally.
What the connections within the unit and the cartridge?
Well, we also did the whole
push
in one side before the other side and pull one side up.
Okay, so if your connections were loose inside the unit itself, then you'd have to clean it. So there were some cleaning things, but never blowing at your Nintendo cartridge. Okay,
it's called association. That's what we associated with what worked. So if we blew on the cartridge and put it in, it worked. We associate that. So we create a pattern of behavior around that because we've given ourselves some really good dopamine shots. Oh, look, I was a good boy. Look at what I did.
Do you know 90% of people believe that you have to safely remove a flash drive?
Yeah.
So the CNN did a whole little article probe about this, and they asked everybody, and so 90% of the world is wrong in their assumption of what they would do with the flash memory drive. So now I've tested this out with like 100 different.
I have never had I've always done that. I've always just said, and pulled it out, yanked it out, and never had a problem. It never corrupted the flash drive. It never effed up my computer or nothing.
So people say that, oh, you know what, I lost data with my flash drive. Now, if you're pulling in and out of your flash drive and you have a crappy flash drive and your connectors go bad, that's your problem on your flash drive. But nowhere in any testing, even when you're copying the files over, what happens if you do a copy, don't do a move command. Whenever you do anything, you should always copy. If you do a copy and you're copying it halfway through and you do pull it out, what happens is that file still exists normally from where you originated and copied it. You'll recopy back over the flash drive. Nothing's changed. Nothing's done anything different from there at all.
Yeah. This is a really interesting story because it does really speak to how humans are biologically unsuited for civilization.
Is that it? So the Mac OS. So people say, well, gee, Macs, you have to do this. Well, no. Since High Sierra and forward in the Mac, so that's about 8 years ago, 9 years ago, data that was written in the operations.
Sure that wasn't 35 years ago?
No, it wasn't 35 years ago. Okay. No, back when the internet was still running. Okay. All right. If you pull out a drive while it's copying, then yes, data could be damaged in a Mac in High Sierra and upward because your data hasn't finished copying. But you're not going to lose your data if you do a copy because it's still originally there, and you're not going to have your flash drive hosed other than it's a file that's a big size that you can't open. And this sometimes happens if you copy a file over and you pull it out too quickly. Sometimes it'll have an extension like an MP3 or something, and you click on it and it says data file is corrupted. That's probably because you didn't finish copying it all the way to do that information. But as far as the actual ability of having that taken care of, the cache that is built in the Mac OS has always had a backup buffer that when you're copying it, as it's finished copying, then it writes an overwrite code that says, yes, it's finished copying, so you're still safe pulling it out when it's done there at the end.
Awesome. You're geeking out right now.
All right. Well, that is the breaking news that everybody needs to know. Flash memory.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just pull it out. It's a flash memory card. That's the whole reason that flash memory existed. It has instant transfer ability to have that information there. It will not screw up your deal.
Dang it.
There you go. All right.
Dang it. I feel so...
You feel... But you're already a rebel. So
I feel so unrebellious.
So now you feel all vindicated. You're like, I knew that the whole time.
No, I didn't care.
You thought you were a rebel, didn't you?
Because I used to get told, you got to do the save. No, I'm not doing that.
That's whoever IT guy totally didn't do the research.
Whatever.
All right, well, here we go.
Whatever.
Coming up next, we have our Protect Yourself Today segment talking about this week's breaches. And you're going to need to join us after this because we have 3 stories on Protect Yourself Today that will probably scare you, as this week is the big week for hackers out there and cyber criminals. So if you got an email,
Hacker Week, Hacker Fest.
Well, so if you got an email from somebody that you think shouldn't be sending an email, and all of a sudden they want to become your friend, do not accept that invite. If you
Dang it, this is when I get all my friend requests
is
for
this
Facebook.
Is this your weekend of?
Is that why my junk mail is all of a sudden blown up in the last couple of days?
Yeah, this is a big week. This is the big week. It's like going back to school. This is going back to hacker time.
Yep.
So be careful over this weekend. So I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. We got Micro Day here. David behind the board. We will see you after this commercial break.
Did you know that up to 12 to 15% of Americans grind their teeth at night while they sleep? Yeah, it's called bruxism. I used to work at a sleep lab, and we used to measure that, and it leads to a lot of problems like headaches and destroys your teeth. It wears down the enamel, and it's just very hard on your mouth.
So every once in a while I'll wake up, my jaw will hurt. Do you think I'm grinding my teeth at night?
Yep.
Well, so how do you go about protecting this then?
The number one recommended way of protecting yourself from teeth grinding is what's called a night guard, which is a custom fitted prosthetic that you put inside your mouth. It usually runs, hundreds of dollars, but I know our sponsor, Smile Brilliant, can get you custom fitted night guards for as little as $45 a piece.
So if you go to smilebrilliant.com and use TechTime Radio at checkout, you can receive 20% off your complete order. So visit smilebrilliant.com and use the TechTime Radio at checkout code.
All right. Welcome back to Tech Time Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. Mike, how is that whiskey tasting?
Yeah, I need to not get this. I would get.
What did you
not
say?
slinging drunk.
Yeah, you said during the break, you said you get a little smashed with this.
I would get smashed with this because it tastes really good, and
I think I could drink a whole bottle.
I would keep drinking.
Yes, it's unbelievable.
This is dangerous. This is a dangerous one.
Well, this is by far the best whiskey we've ever had on the show, just for my drinking taste.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of
higher end stuff,
whiskey snobs out there that would
to just say,
put their nose up at it because
it's
a blended whiskey, right?
Yeah,
including somebody in the Mumm family.
Yeah, probably my brother wouldn't like this.
Yeah.
You know what? He'd probably give this.
This is completely gustatory. It just tastes.
It tastes like a Reese's Pieces.
It tastes wonderful.
Oh my word! It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay. We can stop talking.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, welcome back to our show. We are a technology show, but today we're very enamored with our drinking. We have our Skrewball.
Not enameled.
Did I say enameled?
Yeah.
Click-on phonics worked for you, didn't it?
Well, my words are going to be bad. So anybody listening on the holiday weekend, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be slurring a lot of things. I had a little bit too much of the 70 proof Skrewball peanut butter whiskey. It's spelled SQ.
Wow. No, not
Q. SKREWBALL.
Wow.
And it is,
dude.
Yeah, dude. All right. Well, let's start our next great segment. This is normally your whiskey drinking.
This is my drink. I'm gonna finish off this
during the segment.
Pour myself some more.
Okay, all right. Let's start our next segment right up here, David.
Protect yourself today.
All right. Welcome to Protect Yourself Today, where we cover the current news on breaches, cyber attacks, and identity theft across the globe. Story number one.
Okay.
The alcohol's going to get to me.
Yeah.
Story number one. As the United States heads into the holiday weekend, experts are warning that ransomware attacks are to be unleashed, and it would be crypto-locking chaos in the coming days. So we kind of talked about this earlier. But essentially, this is coming out from the United States government, issued this release to all technology individuals with a private personal email to technology companies and then posted it all over the web.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Attackers view holidays and weekends, especially holiday weekends, as an attractive time frame to which to target potential victims, including small businesses and large businesses. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency warned this week. The Conti ransomware game is CONTI, Conti. This is a new one. Now, we've talked about Revil.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about a couple of Dark Side. We've talked about this is the new ransomware gang. So this is kind of, let's say, They had these two elite.
Is this Revil 2.0?
Yeah, so they're coming up. They're the up and coming group, and we're going to talk about them. They're bringing in some of the expertise from some of the other groups. So ransomware gang is being counted as one of the top threats, security experts warn. Affiliates of the Conti operation have been behind a significant number of recent attacks, and has the Lockbit 2.0 operation, which is their intro pack that you can get. So when you are an affiliate with this Conte group, essentially you go through training on Lockbit 2.0. You get a whole packet. You get a whole packet for training.
We've talked about how interesting these structures are. They even have customer service.
Yes, they do, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. All right, so security firm Sophos says that the wake of multiple ransomwares as a service attack going dark, including big players like DarkSide, Avalon, Revo, have been missing, and now Conte appears to be recruiting many of the former affiliates. Operators develop and distribute ransomware where affiliates take it and use it to infect victims, and then share the results for a ransomware payment. So I, as an affiliate, or I could essentially...
Are you outing yourself right now?
No, I'm not an affiliate. But as an affiliate, I can use their operating system to attack people through all these different items that are available.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, I can get anywhere between 30% up to 70% of the ransom paid to me as the affiliate. Conte is super active lately, says British information security keeper Kevin Botman. At least some affiliates appeared unconcerned about the attacks in progress being detected, as ransomware is forcibly encrypting the information on their newest hack that is called Locker. And essentially, it takes a file, it appends a .locker extension to the file, and then immediately deletes it and transfers it to a cloud service. So if I get infected with this new deal, it'll take my files, it'll end up renaming them all to .locker after it's deleted them from my system and moved them all to 0.0, so there's no files in there except for the name itself as a text file. And then we'll transfer it to the cloud so that the security hackers can have this.
What's the quickest way somebody's going to do that to my machine, if they're going to do that to my machine?
The quickest way they would do that to your machine is they would have you click on something to download, and we're going to talk about what they do in here.
Like in our letter segment?
Yeah, well, in our letter segment, they would do that. But let's take a look at what's being happened for this. Essentially, the ransomware company is using very simple enhancements to Zoom and social media video conferencing services.
Oh, of course.
So if you have a video conferencing Zoom or Microsoft Teams, essentially they're coming out with plugins and these extensions to make your Zoom meeting even better. I can download all these extensions. I can get sound. I can get this type of deal. And by clicking in it, essentially the Conte affiliates are getting access to your computer.
So this would be off-brand attachments.
Off-brand. This is not from Zoom, but it looks like
Zoom itself, but
correct.
It probably looks like Zoom.
Yep. And it sends it to you in an email or to a website.
I just got an update from Zoom today. I was doing something, a little thing flashed up, said Zoom is updating. Do you want to do that now?
Was it the actual Zoom client?
I look like the actual.
I hope it was.
I hope it was. Otherwise, I'm screwed.
You are screwed. It probably was the Zoom client.
I'm Skrewball.
That's these. You actually have to click on different items to move from there. So essentially, what has happened is these lower skilled partners are gaining more and more traction by having these tool suites available to them on cloud services to deploy to victims. So if I have somebody I don't like, I'm fire. But if I have the company that I wanted to pick on,
I think you need to,
we're going to talk
slow
about
your roll on that.
We're going to talk about that coming on up. Essentially, what happens is if you have a company that you want to attack, you can now choose from a selection of like 16 different attacks, and from those attacks, they send out the initiated attack, and then if you get that person with that, then you get the ransomware.
This is like playing a Madden football game.
You
need to set up your
offense and defense,
and then your other partner sets up the defense.
Well, in Madden football game, all you got to do is do audibles the whole time, and then you just keep on rotating for that screen pass.
Yeah, I don't know that much about it. I'm just trying to make an analogy here for other people that may not know what.
You get me really excited. I haven't gotten the new Madden 22. Now you're gonna make me buy it tonight.
I have played Madden once in my life. Yeah,
that's a great game.
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right. Story number 2. Millions of passwords stolen by cyber criminals exposed by activist hackers. So this is really interesting. Noam Rotem is his name.
Noam Rotem?
Yep. So Noam Rotem is essentially an activist hacker. So what that means is he's a hacker that
who does it to educate everybody else.
Yeah, so that means he's probably a hacker that made a lot of money on the side, and now he's deciding to become an activist.
So he's kind of like these people that get rich doing things, and then they become very charitable people.
Correct. So this is kind of like, you can think of it as kind of like when you start your own foundation that you have after you're a billionaire, you're like philanthropic
that's right.
endeavors. So he decided this. Okay, an explosive database with millions of login passwords and countless websites essentially has been discovered by Noam. The hacker activist has seen and taken a look at
Shouldn't that be
emails.
hacktivist?
It should be a hacktivist, but
Hacktivist, yeah.
It should be hacktivist, but it's a hacker and activist.
That's
so
I'm going to claim that.
a hacktivist.
Hacktivist. That's
Yeah, I've
my
seen
word.
it before.
Oh, that's too bad.
I've seen it before.
That's too bad.
But you can claim it though. That's
I'll
great.
claim it.
Okay, hacktivist. All right. So essentially, he's seen the ability to log in and actually take a look at a criminal's database that they had on a server. Him and a friend created a script to take a look at security hacks that happen. And he has found a server that had hundreds of thousands of passwords checkmarked with information that included information with passwords saved for browsers that were saved in cookies, the ability to do cryptocurrency logins, and essentially out of his 10% of the download of this database, that's all he could get. With 10% of the database, he has 2.5 million passwords that provide insights into the identities of victims from the Far East, North America, South America, Europe, Africa, all of them with full information of banking, medical services, security services, any porn sites that someone would visit, email services, and organizations to every person's login, and has verified that at least 60% of the 2.5 million addresses are valid.
Yeah. You know, every time you talk about this stuff, I want to go home and pack up and go off the grid.
And go off the grid?
Yeah.
Well, what it does tell you is that everybody has been there. If you think your information's not on the internet,
I'm pretty sure everybody has something out there that somebody else has that they're not supposed to. So,
all right, story number 3, because then we're going to go to a commercial break, and when we come on back, before we start Mike's mesmerizing moment, we're going to talk about what happened to TechTime Radio, specifically TechTimeRadio.com.
How about that? I wonder what happened to TechTime Radio.
We'll be talking about it. All right, story number 3. Microsoft Azure cloud vulnerability is the worst you can imagine. Thousands of companies using Azure warned that their data has been exposed for years.
Is that Azure is an A-Z-U-R-E?
Azure, yes, correct.
Okay.
Or Azure. Sometimes they pronounce it that way, too.
Yeah, you pronounce it that way. That's okay.
Okay, Microsoft has warned
I'm just clarifying.
of its Azure, I'm going to keep on saying that, cloud customers, including many Fortune 500 companies, about a vulnerability that left their data completely exposed for the last 2 years. A flaw in the CosmoDB database product left more than 330,000 customers open to complete unrestricted access by the attackers. The vulnerability was introduced in 2019 when Microsoft added a data visualization feature called Jupyter Notebook to the CosmoDB, so tech speak. But essentially, this feature was turned on by default, causing all these databases to be accessible since February of 2021.
Wow. All I need now is a mouse.
So that's right. You could have one of the Razer mouse from last week, right?
Razer mouse from last week, and I'll get all this stuff.
A listing from Azure included companies such as Coca-Cola, Liberty Mutual Insurance, ExxonMobil, and Walgreens, just to name a few that have been completely breached.
Wow. Liberty.
Liberty Mutual. That's right. All right. So Microsoft says that they are working on it and that the databases are essentially being locked down as we speak. But because the vulnerability includes accesses to customers' database, they sent out a large email to all of their customers saying that the illicit data could have been accessed and that we need to make sure you change your settings for this database.
Change this, change that.
They turned on the database feature. Microsoft Azure turned it on by default. And essentially they're telling everybody, please go in and take care of it.
Why don't they just patch it? And
well,
just turn it off?
Because then all of a sudden they're going to be going into people's databases and configuration servers to do this. So
but they turned it on.
Well, yeah,
that's one of my complaints about this stuff is they
caused the problem.
They caused the problem,
yeah,
and then they're like, well, now it's your responsibility to fix it. Well, you fix it.
Well, Microsoft says that they are looking into this issue, and they issued a press release saying that their investigation shows no unauthorized access other than the researchers' activity that let us know this. Essentially, Microsoft paid Wiz, who discovered this, $40,000 for the discovery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking into.
Yeah, looking into it. You tell me Wiz didn't sell some of this.
See, it's funny that you said that because that's like looking into the toilet while you take a whiz. You're looking in there. You're not in any
you not do anything. All right. All right. I guess that's an analogy you can add to your. Is that a Mike's mesmerizing moment?
It could be.
Or is it a Nathan Nugget?
It's not a Nathan Nugget.
It's not a Nathan Nugget. All right.
I'm not a cat.
I'm not a cat.
I don't know where that came from.
All right,
David, where did that come from?
His old file shares that he has. All right. You know what? We're going to take a commercial break. When we come on back, we're going to be talking about our buddies FireEye. Thank you very much. TechTime Radio, and we're going to be having Mike's mesmerizing moment, and of course, our pick of the day. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got Microday here, and David behind the board. We'll see you after this break.
Hey, Mike, as a business owner, why do we form an LLC or a corporation?
Well, that's pretty simple. We want to protect ourselves personally from the liability of the company.
That's right, Mike. The very next thing we should be doing as business owners is protecting ourselves personally from the finances of the company.
Right. Yeah, that's why you want to get help, and you can get help from The Business Doctor, which was founded by Dr. Glenn Smith, PhD in Business Management, Accounting, and Finance. Schedule your free business evaluation and consultation at thebusinessdoctor.us.
Enroll in the Rapid Business Credit Builder program and get up to 100K business credit under the company's EIN and the DUNS number in less than 6 months. The DUNS number is really important for your rating on when you purchase other items from other businesses. Never having to use personal credit ever again. That's thebusinessdoctor.us or call 866-383-1030. Again, that's 866-383-1030 or thebusinessdoctor.us.
Visit the Business Doctor today.
Welcome back to Tech Time Radio.
What are you trying to sell me here?
The Costco bottle, even though this is $29.99 available at Wines & More, because that's where I get all my prices.
Wow.
So somebody asked me, where do you get your prices, Nathan, for your whiskey? Wines & More. So whatever Wines & More has as a list, I cut and pasted, add it to our show notes. But my wife just texted me. She's listening to the show and wanted to make sure we get this correct. It's $35 at Costco.
Oh, okay.
So I guess you go to Wines & More in our local area, you can save some money.
That's very un-Costco-like.
Was that to be that expensive?
Yeah, to be less expensive, to be more expensive than Wines & More.
Well, this is pretty good stuff.
Wines & More is a Costco whiskey.
Wines. Have you ever been to Wines & More?
No, I don't. No.
Oh, you need to go. We need to go because they have like a cigar lounge too.
Oh, well, I will go for that.
So they have we should do that after one of these shows. On our way back, go to the cigar
lounge.
Do that. Yeah, we'll have to do that and take care of it. All right. Well, welcome back to our show. Let's talk a little bit about FireEye.
Let's talk about FireEye.
So let me just tell you.
Let's talk about how Nathan gets himself into trouble.
So I always I challenge FireEye to try to break into our website, and
they did.
Well,
kinda.
No, let's talk about this. So as of Thursday, all of a sudden I'm looking at my website. I'm like, what the heck's happening here? Everything's a little bit different. Some emails are bouncing back and something like that because they changed the DNS information. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? So congratulations to FireEye. They did not hack the site, but they essentially paid somebody at HostGator to give them some type of account information to go on in, edit our site.
To me, that's still hacking because they got through your security.
But did they get through my security to actually edit my site, or did they actually go with the creative?
Maybe they didn't get. They found the human element.
They did. They probably had somebody
right, and that's where all this stuff. Everything comes back to the human element.
So that means HostGator did not follow their security procedures to ask for my special. There's no way they know my special security code. There's absolutely no way they know my special security code because there's no way I like to climb in the mountains of blah, 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 blah. I mean, they would not have known that. So
yeah, but my point is that is hacking just limited to what you're doing virtually online with code?
I don't know. I guess not. So let me just say, congratulations to FireEye. You got into my site. But now let's talk about what they did. So this is very interesting.
This is classy.
So what happened is my site was pretty good with some SEO stuff. It was pretty good. essentially my site now for SEO and speed and everything is like 97 out of 100.
Yeah, they hacked your site and then optimized.
And then they optimized everything. and then left a little note that said, "Thank you very much. We got you, but here you go. We fixed your site." So is that a compliment? Did they like listening? So there's got to be somebody there that must like the show because he spent a bunch of time optimizing it, making our site even better. So thank you very much for doing all that work.
That's one of those things where, that's like, hey, we got you. And that's a double entendre, right? We got you.
Yeah.
We can get you.
We can get you. So you gotta
right?
so you better be careful.
So maybe cut us a little slack.
So okay. So I'm giving you a thumbs up. So if anybody wants to use FireEye, whoever the guy was that hacked my site, probably called in and answered some questions.
Which is funny because I think I warned you about.
Yeah, but they didn't hack it. They didn't come in through.
I know.
I have two-factor authentication.
Right.
I have a login picture. Nick is going to laugh at me when he hears about this.
They still got into your website. They still changed the code. Okay. I mean, that's a hack.
You're right. All right. It's all back up, though. TechTimeRadio.com. It's even faster and quicker than it's ever been before and optimized.
And just optimized.
That's right. Okay.
So.
All right. Well, let's now move right into Mike's mesmerizing moment. This is Mike's mesmerizing moment, presented by StoriCoffee. Visit StoriCoffee.com.
There's so much to talk about because it's so funny that all the stuff that we take for granted, all these things that we have, everything that we're doing out there in business, it all comes down to the fallibility of human beings.
Yep.
The AI that Facebook was poo-pooing on.
Yep.
That was created by a human being who did not know how to program or how to look for that. The same thing that happened with FireEye.
Yeah.
Maybe they couldn't get it through the technical piece of it, but they were able to get
social engineering
through social engineering. And that's because we are human beings and we follow specific behavior patterns that can be exploited. Why is this the start of the hacking season? Why is this Hacktoberfest?
Oh, there you go.
Maybe that's a good one.
There you go,
right?
Hacktoberfest.
Why is this the big weekend? Because why? They're taking advantage of certain things. Why? People are traveling.
Yep.
People are going away to school. They're getting back into their routines. People are
got new emails if you're at a college, right? So you're getting all these new emails. All of a sudden something
and you're
comes
getting
in.
flooded. And I don't know about you, but when you get flooded with emails, you tend to start getting what's called quick shots, where you just scan an email and then you move on to the next one. You move on to the next one. If something catches your eye that you're really not paying attention, you're more likely to click on that. Because it gets us in our subconscious. It gets us in our survival brain. And that's what most of these people are doing when they take advantage of us, is they're taking advantage of our survival systems. So it's kind of crazy, but yeah, it's interesting that we spend so much time talking about all the technology and the civilization and things that we have built without considering the human behavior that drives it all. And that's what's exploitable.
That's it. All right. Well, you know what? Let's now move to our pick of the day.
No.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right, Mike. We got Skrewball peanut butter whiskey, 70 proof, $29.99 at Wines and More, but $35, which includes tax. I was corrected that it also includes tax at Costco. California Skrewball is the original peanut butter flavored whiskey. Roasted peanuts. It actually says there's peanuts in there. So if you have a peanut allergy,
I don't know if that counts as a peanut allergy.
Yes, it contains peanuts there. You see that?
Okay, yeah, there it is.
It contains peanuts. And from Ocean Beach, California, developed by bartenders for bartenders.
All right, from strict taste and smoothness, this is my favorite whiskey to date. I'm going to give it 2 thumbs.
You're going to give it 2 thumbs? I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. So that means we got 4 thumbs up.
Yeah.
This is by far...
This is the best tasting stuff that we've ever had on the show.
It is. And you know what? We're going to pour another bottle so we can go into the second hour. So our second hour is going to be so interesting. So
I don't know what you would classify this, because it is a blended whiskey. It's artificial. Well, it's flavored differently than normal whiskey.
Dude, it is a Reese's Pieces with alcohol.
But if you like peanut butter, if you hate peanut butter, then it's probably a thumbs down. But
yeah,
this is really good.
This really
I'm
is.
not going to buy any.
Yeah, okay, yeah, right.
I might buy one.
Okay, you go buy 50. All right, Mike, so on our second hour, we have our Back to School Part 2 segment. So we talked about that. We're going to have that replace our letters.
Instead of letters.
Yeah, replaces our letters. We have our Microsoft special. What was Microsoft like back in the 90s? As your host looks back at the year 1991. We got some Y2K stuff.
99.
Wait, or not, what did I say?
Yeah, 91.
The 1990.
See, you're trying to do that. You're trying to do that longer than the internet's been around stuff.
1999. We have our main feature focus with Nick Espinoza from Security Fanatics to discuss what the country is like being taken over. I am your host, Nathan Mumm. We got Micro Day here. David Brown. Join us on the second hour right after these commercial breaks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.